It is a cold, windy evening here in DeKalb, Illinois, but the fans here at Husky Stadium will keep themselves warm with dreams of a MAC title. Tonight it's Toledo Rockets and the Northern Illinois Huskies playing for all the MAC marbles. Here's how it plays out. Northern Illinois, with a win tonight, clinches their first ever MAC West title. For Toledo, they need to win their next 2 games to win the West. In a nutshell, both teams control their own destiny. But Northern Illinois has had things spinning out of control over the last couple of days. With breaking news, here's Haldi.
Well, thanks, Eric. The Northern Illinois Huskies have suffered a key loss before the field even took the team. They will be without leading tailback Garrett Wolfe. He has suffered an eye injury over the weekend when he was poked in the eye trying to break up an altercation. He has not been cleared to play for this game. He is at home watching. In his place, A.J. Harris will be the leading rusher tonight. He was the starter to begin the season, but went down with an ankle injury against Bowling Green, and Wolfe took over. Now, this is a key loss as Wolfe has rushed for 230 yards a game in their last 3 games, but A.J. Harris, a very capable runner in his place. Eric?
Thank you, Holly. And with that, we welcome you to DeKalb, Illinois, alongside Bob Davey. I am Eric Collins, and Coach, let's get right down to it. It's a significant loss, so close to game time. How does Northern Illinois, they have the second best scoring offense in the MAC, how do they keep things going, having to deal with this type of thing?
Well, first of all, Eric, this is a blow for NIU. This guy's averaged 230 yards a game the last 3 games, but I know exactly what Joe Novak is doing right now on that sidelines. He's going to take a negative, try to turn it into a positive. The first thing, challenge the backup running back, A.J. Harris. The second thing, maybe more important, challenge that big offensive line. It's not always who runs the ball, Eric. A lot of times it's who blocks.
Well, for the Toledo Rockets, they brought all of their Rockets offensively here to DeKalb, Illinois. They have a very unique offense, and they think, well, that they have the next great MAC quarterback in Bruce Gradkowski.
Well, the first thing about Bruce Gradkowski, accuracy, and nobody knows that better than NIU. In last year's game, he opened up completing his first 14 passes, finished 24 for 27. NIU plays almost all zone coverage. If they don't get pressure up front, he will pick them apart, but it's not easy to get pressure on this guy. He loves to throw the screens and the quick passes, and he is mobile.
So the scene has been set. The biggest game in the MAC this year is just moments away, and you won't want to miss 2 of the best receivers and returners in the country. Reese, expect hot offense on a cold evening here in Illinois.
Eric, we are looking forward to it for sure. Glad to have you with us. We continue on our coverage, 19 days of football. Reese Davis, Mark May with you here in the studio. And on day 13 of our 19 days of football, Mark, it's a former number 13 who's landed a haymaker against his former school. Flashy cars, easy money, and bogus grades, all perks that former Ohio State running back Maurice Clarett alleges to have received while he was a Buckeye. An ESPN The Magazine story written by Tom Friend details Clarett's allegations, which include the fact that Buckeye head coach arranged for his running back to have loaner vehicles, introduced him to wealthy boosters who lined his pockets with cash. Clarett then further alleges that once the NCAA started asking questions, that Tressel and Ohio State turned their back on him. It's very important to note that both Tressel and Ohio State athletic director Andy Geiger have denied all of Clarett's allegations. Now, Mark, when you look at this right now, I've been talking with a former representative of Clarett's, and one of the stated goals of Team Clarett has been to improve his perception with the NFL people. What does this do to the perception of Clarett in the NFL?
Well, it doesn't look good for Maurice Clarett. If you're a person in his position right now, the NFL is a league that doesn't like controversies. They don't want bad publicity. Why would you come out and make these accusations at this time during the season for Ohio State? When the NFL looks at this, he did not help his draft stock. He hurt his draft stock.
We'll talk more about this at halftime. You will hear from Maurice Clarett. You'll also hear from Andy Geiger from Ohio State. Here's some of the allegations that Clarett has made and some of the responses to them. Mark and I will talk about the motivation more and what the impact could be long-term on Ohio State's program. That's coming up at halftime. Right now, we're ready for a little football, and one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the nation, Bruce Gradkowski, leading Toledo against Northern Illinois in a few moments.
Our venue is Brigham Field here at Husky Stadium in DeKalb, Illinois. And for a quick chat with the head coach from Northern Illinois, let's go down to the field in Haldi.
Thanks, Eric. We're here with Northern Illinois coach Joe Novak. And Coach Novak, This is a big game. It's advertised all over town. Why is it so important for your team?
Well, 8 years ago, he set a goal up, Holly, to try to win an American Conference championship, and it always goes through Toledo in our division. So beating Toledo is what you have to do. So that's what we have to try to get done tonight if we're going to do that.
It got a little tougher without your starting tailback, Garrett Wolfe. How does that affect the team?
Well, we've got two other pretty good running backs. A.J. Harris was our starter the first 4 games, and Adrian Davis has had a 100-yard rushing game, so we'll be all right, Holly.
All right, thanks very much, Coach.
Okay, Holly, thank you.
Eric?
Thanks, Holly. We've just seen Joe Novak. How about the other man? On the other sideline, it's Tom Amstutz, called Toledo Tom, born and raised in Northwest Ohio. He is very proud to be coaching his alma mater now in his 4th season. He's won more than twice of the times more than he has lost, 33 and 14. NIU will kick off. Chris Nendick will get us started. Both teams with opportunities to win the MAC West. And the kickoff high, deep, and out of the back of the end zone. Toledo will receive. They will start at the 20. Taking the snap for the Toledo Rockets, the junior quarterback from Pittsburgh, Bruce Gradkowski, has been sensational in his 2 years as a starter. He is very accurate, throws a lot of screens, a lot of short passes, but he does it very effectively.
And Eric, this kid, a great basketball player in high school. The other thing, he probably runs about a 4.5 40, so he is a talented quarterback.
They start with 2 receivers, flanked to the right. And the handoff right up the gut on the first play of the game. Not going very far. Actually, Gradkowski kept the football and picked up just a couple. Let's take a look at the Toledo offense. Scooter McDougal getting his 2nd consecutive start. We'll be talking a lot about Lance Moore, kid from Columbus, Ohio. He's Toledo's all-time leader in catches and yards. And up front, Nick Kaiser. He is an absolute beast. He is trying to become the first Toledo player ever to be 4-time All-MAC. 2nd down. This time, Gradkowski. Little shovel pass. Gets it over to McDougal. McDougal with 1st down yards. Flag is down on the field. We'll have to see if that 1st down holds up. Let's take a look to see how NIU lines up defensively. Ken West, be alert of him. He leads the team with 8 sacks and 10 tackles for losses. Linebackers, Jason Hawkins was a tremendous tailback in the Chicagoland area. He's now been switched to linebacker, and he's doing a good job as a senior. And Rob Lee may be the best athlete on the entire NIU defense. He is their best cover corner. He will be lined up on Lance Moore very often throughout the course of the evening.
Eric, right off the bat, we see why a lot of people say Toledo is the best screen passing team in the country. That time they had the middle screen or shuffle pass. Unfortunately, they were called for holding. Sets them back to 2nd down and 15.
It negates a gain of 13. That's up to 2nd and 14 now. Again, a fake of the inside handoff, and Gradkowski keeps it himself and doesn't go too far. Stop on the play is made. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and long.
We said Bruce Gradkowski was an excellent runner. This time the predetermined quarterback run or the wrap play, they fake it to the running back. You're going to see Gradkowski lead it up in there, but an excellent tackle right here. Should have been holding right there on the big offensive tackle, but predetermined quarterback run.
5 receivers in the game for the Rockets. Empty backfield. Gradkowski with time. Throws over the middle. Incomplete. Big stick on the play. And the pass is knocked away. Ray Smith with the force. Let's go down field level where Holly Rowe has more in the punting situation for Toledo.
Well, guys, Brett Kern, the starting punter for Toledo, is out with mononucleosis. He does have an enlarged spleen, so he did not make the trip and cannot punt. The problem, Robbins, who is punting in his stead, has only punted once in his entire career. He was never a punter in high school or in college. He has 1 punt to his record. They went for it 8 times last week because of that situation, but right now, as you see, because of field possession, he has to punt.
And this punt is not very good, Holly. It goes to the 30. Takes a friendly bounce out to the 36, but that's it. 18 yards on the 2nd career punt for Mr. Robbins. Gives wonderful field position to the NIU Huskies. So NIU takes the field offensively for the first time. Their quarterback, kid from Cleveland, Ohio, just outside in Madison, along the shores of Lake Erie, Josh Haldi. Haldi has been a winner in the 3 years he has been the starting quarterback for Joe Novak. He's a very smart guy, close to a 4-point GPA. A.J. Harris, the back behind him. They want to throw on first down, and it's complete. The big fella, Jake Nordine, with the catch. Gain of 8 on first down. Let's take a look at the rest of the starting lineups for NIU. A.J. Harris getting the start in place of Garrett Wolfe. He has started before. This is his 5th start of the year. Up front, the big boys. Take a look at the right guard, Matt McGackie. If you got those letters in Scrabble, you throw them back. No vowels. 6 letters, no vowels. That's hard to do. That's the longest vowelless name in NIU football history, if that means anything to you at all. Second down and short. Haldi to the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for Chatone Powers. And it's now 3rd and short. Defensively, this is how the Rockets of Toledo line up. They've had their troubles up front. They're very young. They're 2 defensive tackles. Martin and Pollard, both are freshmen. They will be tested against that good ground attack for Northern.
And Eric, really 2 inside linebackers, Anthony Jordan, David Thomas, and 2 rovers. They really play a 4-2-5 defense. The 2 corners, Nigel Morris and Antonio Malone. Patrick Bodie, the free safety, the leading tackler.
Nordine with the screen, and he doesn't go very far. Actually loses yardage. It's a loss of 2, and that'll bring up 4th down. And it looks as if the decision's already been made, Coach. They're going to go for the field goal.
I don't think there's any question, because they do have momentum early in this football game. A little bit out of character for NIU right there, Eric, throwing that football on 3 consecutive downs. They do have the wind at their back right here.
And Chris Nendick will need it. This is a 47-yard field goal attempt. Kick is up, and kick is true. No problem for Nendick. And NIU grabs an early 3-0 lead without the benefit of a first down.
No question, took advantage of the wind at his back and just drilled it as we look at the excellent field goal attempt. But go back to the 4th down, poor punt by Toledo. And amazingly, Eric, Toledo with punting problems last week against Miami. They went for it 9 times on 4th down. I don't know that I've ever heard of that in the history of college football, going for it on 9 times. But you see why Tom Amstutz last week did that. They are really struggling in the punting department, and that led to Northern Illinois being up 3-0 in this football game.
Well, Joe Novak's got to be happy at least that his team's on the board early. They received a shocking bit of information just earlier today, finding out that their star tailback, Garrett Wolfe, wouldn't play. It means so much, I'd imagine, Coach, the fact that they can get the early lead when you have a little bit of disorder going through your pregame routine, finding out your star's not playing.
Exactly. There's no question that that is a distraction. But this football team has been through a lot, particularly Joe Novak in his 7 years here at NIU. They've got a bunch of seniors on this ball club, and sometimes a little distraction like that, Eric, can be a good thing. But you're right, particularly if the game starts out in a positive way, that rallies the troops.
Offensively, do they change anything with A.J. Harris back there as opposed to Garrett Wolfe? We didn't see a run on their first possession.
Well, first of all, I said out of character. I mean, NIU wants to line up and run that football. They're 10th in the country in rushing offense. That really is Toledo's weakness, rush defense. No, they're going to line up and run the football. And this A.J. Harris is a talented guy. Runs a 4.39 40. He was the starter earlier in the season. So what a great way for a guy right now to put the final chapter on this season, to come back after having been beat out.
This kickoff, shortish, picked up 18-yard line and carried out across the 25 by Jalen Parmalee. 7 yards on that return, and Bruce Gradkowski and the Rockets will begin their second possession offensively.
And last night, having a chance to visit with Bruce Gradkowski, I loved him on tape. I love him even more after visiting with him in person. You know, he's a Pittsburgh guy. Grew up in Pittsburgh, and he is no doubt a talented guy, but I think really a tough guy. And I think we'll have a bright NFL future, but he's got Northern Illinois on his mind right now.
It was 3 and out the first time that Gradkowski had the football. Hand off, Scooter McDougal. Not much doing. Left side of that line. Gain of 3.
And Eric, as we watch this game unfold, I think right now the matchup is Toledo's offense. NIU on defense will play a lot of zone with 2 deep safeties. So there's really only 7 in the box. The temptation right now for Toledo to try to run it. But in the end, it's going to come down to Gradkowski throwing that football, even though it is only a 7-man front.
Gradkowski, little play fake. Rolls right, has a man, pass complete. Steve Odom, his first catch, the sophomore from Columbus, with a modest gain. Call it a gain of 7. And it's going to be good enough for a first down.
Eric, something you're going to see all night. These corners from NIU pressed, but they're really playing quarters coverage with zone coverage behind it. And right here, you're going to see the corner bail out in coverage. The linebacker could not get to the flat, and Gradkowski does an excellent job throwing on the run.
First down for either team tonight. Again, a play fake. Rolling right, Gradkowski again. Complete with a shortish pass. This one to Chris Holmes.
And this big Chris Holmes, 275 pounds. That's his 19th catch of the season. Plays a lot of roles for him. And keep in mind, Toledo's #1 tight end, Andrew Clark, who was a star last year, out for the season, Eric, with a hip injury.
He was a good one. All-MAC first team a year ago. But he's getting a medical red shirt. Andrew Clark will be back manning the tight end spot, you'd imagine, next year for the Rockets. Another complete pass. Lance Moore with his first catch. Toledo's all-time leading receiver with his first grab of the night.
We see the press coverage with Adriel Hansborough, #12, up there playing bump and run. But the bottom line, just a little short comeback route right there. And Lance Moore, one of the most productive receivers I've seen in college football.
Lance Moore, a senior a year ago, had 103 catches. This year, he's got 66, including the one just a moment ago. Again, the play fake, rolling right, Gradkowski, intercepted. Jimmy Toussaint with the interception. The freshman, his first of the year. And everything is going right for the NIU Huskies so far this evening.
Toussaint, the freshman, comes up with the big pick. Again, the play-action pass. Gradkowski, just a poor decision right here. Underthrows that football, and that's out of character for Gradkowski. Only his 5th interception of the season.
So, Bruce Gradkowski, normally so accurate, throws it up for grabs, and the first turnover of the game belongs to NIU. Sheldon with the football. He's very quick. He gets out to the 35 before he's stopped by Anthony Jordan.
Dan Sheldon, Northern Illinois' best football player, a great punt returner, and you have to give Joe Novak credit right now, and Rob Spence, the offensive coordinator, Eric. They're doing the unexpected and really kind of opening this game up, which is out of character.
Second down and short. A.J. Harris, his first carry. Little juke step, gets out across the 45. Good yards on his first carry, gain of 10.
Again, they come with the fake reverse action this time. And you're going to watch A.J. Harris on the cutback. The reason they're faking those reverses, Toledo an 8-man front, Eric, with those 2 rovers up there. They're trying to keep those rovers from cheating in there in the box and stopping them in the run. So that is a plan to soften up the perimeter of his defense.
Again, A.J. Harris. Again, A.J. Harris with big yards. This time a 13-yard gain.
Toledo comes into this game 77th in the country in rush defense. And right there you see an excellent block by Brian Van Ecker, the offensive guard. And you have to wonder right now, Garrett Wolfe is somewhere licking his chops right now because he'd love to have a little piece of this 77th ranked rush defense.
They keep feeding the horse. A.J. Harris this time tripped up after a gain of a couple of yards. Call it 3. In case you're just joining us, Garrett Wolfe will not play. Garrett Wolfe, a big part of what Northern Illinois has done over the last couple of weeks. 6 consecutive 100-yard games, 3 consecutive 200-yard games, but he was involved in a off-the-field altercation a couple of days ago. He's got an eye injury. He is not suited up this evening. So Joe Novak has to go to his second-teamer and A.J. Harris. And so far, he has bedeviled Tom Amstutz and the Toledo Rockets. Screen set up. Ball loose. Trying to get it to A.J. Harris, and he couldn't corral it.
And right now, if you're Tom Amstutz, what you're concerned about, NIU, Eric, is a lot like the University of Minnesota. The way they run the outside zone play, the way they run play action. And in the first game of the season, Toledo gave up 415 yards rushing and 704 total yards and 63 points to Minnesota. So a lot of that same scheme. Now, I'll say this, Toledo has matured on defense, but they have their work cut out for them tonight because it's a very similar scheme that they had early in the season.
Here comes the blitz. Man trumped him. They get it out to Harris. Harris close to first down yards, but not quite there. It's going to bring up an interesting situation on 4th down. Coach, you've been there and done that. What happens on 4th down and 2?
Well, it's obvious what Joe Novak is going to do on 4th down and 2, and he's looking at the guy, Tom Amstutz, right there, that went for it 9 times last week on 4th down. So I think this is a good call right now. I mean, momentum clearly on the side of Northern Illinois.
Let's see if they try and pound it. The Rockets are stuffing the box right now. The Huskies go right after it, and they get it. Plowing forward, the junior, A.J. Harris, looks to have enough yards for a first. And they do, so the chains move, much to the pleasure of Joe Novak, coaching in his 100th game as the head man at Northern Illinois. Good crowd here at Husky Stadium, late arriving crowd. About 10 minutes before the game, didn't look like we were going to get close to a sellout, but now we're almost there. On 1st down, Haldi wants a bunch, has a man, has a completion down to the 1. Dan Sheldon with the catch.
Dan Sheldon runs a 4.3740, and he is going to run a post route right now and beat Antonio Malone, I believe, and he is wide open right there. That is a great route right there. In their last football game against Ball State, he took one 70 yards. You can see he is an explosive receiver.
Haldi has a man back of the end zone, can't connect with him. Had a man back of the end zone, Pat Raleigh, the H-back, and Raleigh got a mitt on it, but couldn't control it.
And Eric, you see, anytime you can run the football with success, you're going to put those corners one-on-one defensively because you are going to play 8 in the box. And NIU, an excellent play-action passing team as we look at Danny Sheldon right there, averaging 24 yards a catch on the season, which reinforces that point.
Adrian Davis, just 5 feet 5 inches with the carry. Very unique situation there. 5'5" bowling ball going in on short yardage.
Yeah, but Adrian Davis, he benches 400 pounds. This little tailback who is 5'5", but those 400-pound bench press stats don't matter right here as he gets rejected right there by number 8, David Thomas, the middle linebacker. But this is a strong little guy at 5'5", Eric.
Maybe the only 5'5" goal line runner in the country. 11th play of the drive. Haldi gives it to Davis, and this time he will not be denied. AD with the TD for NIU.
NIU does as good a job as anyone in the country of pulling linemen. Here you see the center pull around Van Ecker, get an excellent block, and you see what 5'5" does for you. Eric, it's hard to get underneath him.
Nice and low, equals 6 points, extra point, making it 10-0 NIU lead over to the Toledo Rockets. For the 22nd ranked Northern Illinois Huskies, they lead 10-0. And remember, a win tonight and they clinch an outright MAC West title. They will go to the MAC championship game if they can win tonight over the Toledo Rockets. But down 10-0. Don't count out Toledo. They have a magnificent quarterback who spearheads one of the best offenses you'll see in the country. Third kickoff of the game for Chris Nendick. Goes out of the back of the end zone this time. Let's take another look at that touchdown. Coach, there's some question here.
Eric, it is close. We look at the tailback right here, Adrian Davis, and watch Anthony Jordan right here. That football definitely comes out. Now, the debate is, was that football across the plane of the goal line? Impossible to tell on that angle. Difficult to tell on this angle. The only point I would make right here is Anthony Jordan's helmet still in the end zone, which means that ball is across that plane. Doesn't matter. No instant replay in the MAC conference. Bottom line, 10-0 NIU.
So Adrian Davis's third touchdown stands up, and Lou West, the defensive coordinator for the Toledo Rockets, back to the drawing board.
And Eric, last week, Toledo with 4 turnovers in the Miami game. Already a 4 punt tonight, which is basically a turnover in some regards, and the interception. So a mistake-laden Toledo offense the last 2 weeks.
Blitz is picked up. Scooter McDougal scoots to his left. He's got running room out across the 35. Finally dragged down by Lionel Hickenbottom, but not before a gain of 18.
This is unbelievable. You're going to see the linebacker come on the plug stunt right here and basically run right by McDougal. Sometimes when you plug those linebackers, and that is a great stiff arm right there on number 48, Ray Smith. This McDougal's about 235 pounds, was up to 250 pounds, so he's a big, strong running back.
McDougal again with the carry, plunges forward on first down. The Toledo Rockets have won 10 consecutive games against NIU. Tom Amstutz has never known defeat as a head man against NIU. But so far, he can't be pleased with the result of his first 2 drives. An 18-yard punt after a 3-and-out gave NIU great field position. And then his quarterback, Bruce Gradkowski, who normally is ever so careful with the football, threw just his 5th interception, setting up a score for the Huskies. Whistle blows before this play begins.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 79, offense. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
So the Rockets, they're doing a backwards conga line.
And Tom Amstutz told us last night, this is the most hostile place to play in the MAC conference, which is amazing because a few years ago, nobody came to these games. And right now, this football team's adding fuel to that fire with the mistakes.
Back to the original line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10, setting up the screen, one way, go the other way, do the Rockets. McDougal brought down by the back of his shirt by Brian Atkinson. For more on Atkinson, let's go down in the field in Holly Rowe. Holly.
Well, guys, Brian Atkinson is playing with a fractured jaw. He broke it 2 weeks ago, had his jaw wired shut for 14 days. He had to drink through a straw. I asked him if he lost any weight, and he said no. Ironically, Ironically, he was drinking high-protein, high-calorie shakes. He says he feels fine. It doesn't hurt him at all. The only difference, he wears a little bit longer face mask to protect the side of his jaw.
Thanks, Holly. And Brian Atkinson, they need him. He's a former walk-on, but he's made himself into an all-MAC linebacker. He was all-MAC a year ago as a junior. Third down, Gradkowski with the pocket collapsing, buys time and hits his tight end, Chris Holmes. First down. Gradkowski ever so resourceful in that pocket.
And you see his athleticism that time, and I think a key to the game, NIU able to get some pressure with the four-man rush, the twist stunt, and he steps up right here. And the great thing, he does not panic and unloads the ball to the big tight end, Chris Holmes, for his second catch of the night right there.
Fresh set of downs. The give goes to McDougal, and again, McDougal blowing over linebackers. Gets it out across the 35, gain of 7.
And I like McDougal. Sat out last year because of academics. At one point, he was up to 260 pounds. He's now about 230 pounds. And just watch the power right there as he knocks Ray Smith and Lionel Hickenbottom back.
So a good gain for McDougal, the sophomore from Cleveland's Shaw High School. Again, they feed McDougal, and again, he lowers the head and gets close to another first down for more on Scooter. Let's go back to Holly. Holly, what's going on?
Well, guys, as you might guess, Scooter is not his given name. It is Haven. But his dad said when he was crawling and learning to crawl, he used to just scoot around the living room floor like crazy. So, Scooter. Now, he has another brother that's name is Skippy. But I'd say Scooter has learned how to run and walk pretty well. He's past the scooting days.
Thank you, Holly. I'd like to watch Skippy play football. McDougal, 47 of Toledo's 88 yards thus far, but he's not in the game on this play. Instead, it's Parmalee, and Parmalee down to the 10-yard line. Jalen Parmalee, 22 yards on that sprint down the left side.
Eric, and this is a true freshman, but something that's happening in this football game. Northern Illinois, with two deep safeties, continues to play 7 men in the box. And Toledo is going to go ahead and run the football. It's almost impossible against a big, powerful team like Toledo to stop the run with only 7 in the box. So great patience right here by Rob Spence, the offensive coordinator. Take what they give you.
Parmalee again with the carry. Spinning, brought down at the 9-yard line.
And Eric, we talk about the biggest difference in the MAC conference. And in my opinion, the reason the MAC conference has so much national credibility right now is because of 2 things. Number one, explosive, wide open, innovative offenses. And the second thing, some marquee skilled players. When you're down on the field before the game, you see there are a lot of talented, skilled athletes on both sides here, both Northern Illinois and Toledo.
Scooter McDougal back in the game. They fake to him. Gradkowski keeps. And not much doing around the right end. Hickenbottom brings him down at the 5-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down.
We talk about Gradkowski. It came down to Eastern Kentucky and Toledo. And it's amazing how some of these elite quarterbacks that have come out of the MAC conference have been overlooked in high school. And this is another guy. Toledo was not even on him. He's out of the Pittsburgh area. They really recruited him because they liked him so much on the basketball court. And he's been a huge, huge catch for Toledo.
3rd down and 3. They need to get to the 2-yard line. Tight end in motion. Gradkowski gives up the gut to McDougal. And McDougal close to 1st down yards. Looks like he has it.
ESPN2's College Football Primetime. Brought to you by the all-new Hyundai Tucson. It's perfect for whatever, whenever.
This game is speeding by here in DeKalb, Illinois. Final seconds of the first quarter tick by. And it is a 10-0 NIU lead, but Toledo is knocking on the door. Truly, they're at the 2-yard line, courtesy of Scooter McDougal. He's got 50 of Toledo's 120 yards. We'll be back with second quarter action in a moment. Here in DeKalb, Illinois, the Northern Illinois Huskies with the first couple of jabs. They're on top 10-0, but Tom Amstutz' club, they've come back with a punch of their own. A 10-play, 78-yard drive has gotten the football all the way down to the 2-yard line. Let's see if they can punch it in. Scooter McDougal's been a real big force on this drive, running behind Bruce Gradkowski. First down and goal. McDougal. No, that's Jalen Parmalee in the game, and Parmalee with the touchdown. The freshman from Midland, Texas, in on goal line and gets his first touchdown.
Excellent drive by Toledo, settling his football team down. Tom Amstutz, Rob Spence. Now they have the advantage of the wind at their back, primarily running the football against NIU.
Extra point attempt. Up and good. And 4 seconds into the second quarter, Jalen Parmalee has made this a 3-point game. NIU 10, Toledo 7, but the Rockets with some momentum. Northern Illinois has won 11 consecutive games here at Husky Stadium. They jumped out to a 10-0 lead. But the Rockets, a methodical 80-yard drive, have gotten within shouting range again.
And a great crowd, great atmosphere here tonight on a Tuesday night. Got to be proud of the student body for sticking around and coming out to this football game. This is a big one.
Kickoff about 7 yards deep in the end zone. And Hickenbottom takes a knee. Well, the scoring drive for Toledo was done primarily on the ground.
And I was impressed by the play calling on that drive and really taking what NIU gave them. NIU playing a lot of two-safety look, meaning there were only 7 in the box. And Toledo basically ran the football down the field. You look at McDougal with 44 total yards. Parmalee gets to come in and cap it off. And Toledo averaging 36 points a game, number 8 in the country. You can see they are a balanced offense.
So ahead by 3. The Huskies go back to work. Short pass complete to Powers, and Powers has a good gain on first down. Chatone Powers from the Chicagoland area, just about 60 miles away.
When we talk about Chicago, just 60 miles away. NIU with a lot of students from Chicago, and they call it kind of a suitcase school. I mean, a lot of these kids go home on weekends, so playing Tuesday night, I think, really helps NIU because a bunch of these students would be home if this game was on Saturday. That's just the nature of this university.
Second down and 1. Haldi under center. And up goes A.J. Harris. And Harris, good yards along the right sideline.
Something NIU does is pull the center. And right there you see 65, Brian Van Ecker, come around the horn. We said a lot like Minnesota. They do a great job of pulling linemen on their outside zone play, Eric, and chop blocking. And that's why I say Toledo has their work cut out for them tonight because they struggle against good running teams.
Toledo 12th out of 14 teams in the MAC in terms of defense against the run. Harris finds running room along the right side. Another big gain. Gain of 7 before Patrick's body can bring him down. A.J. Harris, former hurdles champion here in Illinois, Wheaton North High School. won the state championship in both the 100 and the 110-meter hurdles, both as a junior and as a senior. So far today, he's averaging close to 8 yards a carry. And Harris, this time, with big yardage inside the 25-yard line.
And Eric, I am impressed with this offensive line, and I believe Brad Cieslak, 89, is going to get a block on the backside. But watch this cutback. I mean, that is a gaping hole. And Garrett Wolfe, the tailback who's not here, once again, he has to be sick. As watch this cutback right there. You see Cieslak's block. Joe Novak told us yesterday the strength of this football team is its offensive line. Toledo playing with 2 freshman defensive tackles. Obviously a huge advantage to NIU.
Harris this time tries the right side, and he's brought down. Well, Coach called this. Wally Pipp gets his revenge. We'll continue that after we check out this replay.
And I want you to watch the center, Van Ecker. Watch him pull around, and we were talking about chop block. Watch him pull around and chop right there. He gets the linebacker, I believe, David Thomas, number 8, on the ground. That is tough right there. When you have athletic linemen like that, Eric, that can pull around and block.
2nd down and 8. Harris with 50 yards already on this drive alone. This time jumps over a blocker and gets inside the 20. It'll bring up a 3rd down. A.J. Harris was the starter at the beginning of the season, but then Garrett Wolfe came out of nowhere. Over the last 3 games, Garrett Wolfe over 200 yards each of those 3 games, but he's not playing this evening. He's got an eye injury, non-football related, not even in the building this evening. So A.J. Harris has a chance to get his starting spot back.
Well, he's a great player. Both these running backs, but this is for Mark May back in that studio with Trev. It doesn't matter who carries it sometimes. It's who's blocking. And this offensive line is doing a great job blocking.
3rd and 6. Haldi looks deep. Careless pass. Touchdown! The tip drill pays off. Chaton Powers with the carom and the touchdown.
Sometimes when you've lost 10 straight to an opponent like Northern Illinois has done to Toledo, you need some good things to happen. And right there, that was definitely a break as Antonio Malone, number 30, had the interception on a poorly thrown ball by Josh Haldi.
From ecstasy to agony for Antonio Malone. Thought he had an interception. Instead, it's a touchdown for the Huskies. Extra point makes it 17-7, and things are going the way of the Huskies right now. Antonio Malone, interception, nope, touchdown.
And there's a reason Antonio Malone is playing defensive back and not wide receiver.
The Huskies run real well in cold weather. Northern Illinois has scored on all 3 of their possessions. Put smiles on the faces of their fans. 17-7 is our score. Yet another kickoff headed in the direction of Lance Moore and the Toledo Rockets. This time into the wind. Kick fielded at the 10-yard line. And Steve Odom downed at the 20.
Eric, we take another look at this touchdown. Chaton Powers, number 83, caught 120 passes in high school in Illinois. The all-time record. He's made some great catches over his career, but he got a free one right there.
Sometimes better to be lucky than good. He was unlucky, Mr. Malone was. Either that or just bad hands. Bruce Gradkowski back underneath center for the Rockets. They had a 80-yard touchdown drive last time with the football. End around. Kenny Higgins. All kinds of speed, but nowhere to run. Goes out of bounds at the 21-yard line. Forced out by Javon Lee.
Kenny Higgins ran 2 reverses last week against Miami. He said he was the most improved player in the spring. Junior college transfer. That time to lead Northern Illinois, very disciplined on defense.
Tom Amstutz lost a week ago out in Oxford, Ohio. Toledo losing to the Miami Redhawks, their first conference loss of the year. They're 6-3 overall, 5-1 in conference. Odom. Gain of a couple. Lee with the tackle. Thursday, join ESPN for night 15 of 19 days of primetime football on ESPN, ESPN2, and ABC. Chuck Amato's NC State team faces a must-win if they want to reach a bowl game. They take on Bobby Bowden's Florida State Seminoles that has lost 2 of its last 3 meetings to the Wolfpack. College football primetime presented by Cooper Tires, Thursday at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. Yesterday was Coach Bobby Bowden's 75th birthday. Old Man River keeps on rolling along. 3rd down and 4. McDougal next to Gradkowski in the shotgun, and a whistle blows. There was movement on the line.
Obviously a false start right there on Toledo.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 68 on the offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
That's the second false start penalty on Toledo.
And Eric, this is a huge 3rd down, even though it's early in the football game, because momentum clearly on NIU side. And let's look ahead to 4th down, and Toledo, major punting problems. So early in the football game, but a key 3rd down opportunity here for Toledo.
They need to get out across the 30. 4 receivers in the game. Gradkowski looks right. Incomplete. Intended to his bell cow. Lance Moore, and a flag flies late. Adriel Hansbrough on the coverage, but he may have gotten too chummy.
Well, and again, Adriel Hansbrough, the corner, playing a lot of bump coverage.
Defense, pass interference, number 12, that's a spot foul, 1st down.
We go back and take a look at it. Obviously right there, a little bit too much hands, and he bumps Lance Moore prior to the ball getting there. Right there, it's actually holding. But look right here, contact, excellent call. Big break for Toledo right there.
That's the first hiccup for the Huskies, their first penalty of the evening. Underneath 10 minutes remaining, first half. McDougal tries the right side, picks up a couple.
We really have to talk a moment just about the job Joe Novak has done here at Northern Illinois. It really is amazing. And we'll talk about this story a little bit later, but at one point had lost 23 straight football games and has come back and is 29-9 in his last 38 games. Really a remarkable job of perseverance on the part of Joe Novak.
Joe won just 1 game his first 2 seasons. That's 1 combined in 2 seasons. But he has really turned around the Husky program. We are here in DeKalb, Illinois, the campus of Northern Illinois University. Eric Collins, Bob Davie, Holly Rowe, bringing you day 13 of 19 consecutive days of football on ESPN, ESPN2, and ABC. So far, Northern Illinois has not missed a beat, even though Garrett Wolfe, their leading rusher, has not played. He will not play because of an eye injury, but A.J. Harris has been more than willing to pick up the slack. 10-point lead for the Huskies. 3rd down and 3. Big play. Gradkowski with time has a man short of a first down. Chris Holmes with the catch. That's going to bring up an interesting decision on 4th down.
And Tom Amstutz is known for tricks, particularly in the kicking game. Once again, they went for it 9 times last week, and I believe he is going for it again.
Talk about a riverboat gambler. 4th and 1. The distance isn't great, but the gamble is.
And the freshman running back in the game.
Jalen Parmalee in the backfield. Gradkowski gives it to Parmalee, and Parmalee punishes his way for first down yards. Wow, the guts of a cat burglar, Tom Amstutz gets the first down.
Again, the freshman running back hits it up in there, and Tom Amstutz, now he is 18 for 29 on the season on 4th downs, which is an amazing statistic. I mean, 29 times he's gone for it on 4th down. He doesn't really look like a riverboat gambler. He's kind of an offensive, defensive line looking type guy over there.
Gradkowski, a little short pass. Let's go down in the field. Haldi, what's going on?
Well, guys, there's another reason why Tom Amstutz likes to go for it on 4th down beside their punting situation. When he was a defensive coordinator for many years up in the box, he said, we used to love it when that punter would run out on the field, would throw our hands up like, mission accomplished, shot the field on 3rd down. So he knows that feeling of distress when the opposing team goes for it, guys. Just another addition to his personality.
Yeah, thanks, Haldi. It's just one of those things. He's got confidence in his team. It's not that he doesn't have confidence in his kicker. He's just shown that his team can run the football. And Parmalee has been a big reason why. The freshman gets another carry. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down and short.
Excuse me, Eric. Parmalee came into this game with just 19 carries for 79 yards on the year. So a lot of confidence by the Toledo staff breaking this young freshman out tonight in the biggest game of the year.
Coach, since we know that 4 downs is really no problem, is this kind of a liberating down here on 3rd down?
Yeah, not a bad play action down, Eric. I think that is an excellent point.
3 receivers out to the right. And Gradkowski, a conservative play call, just with the quarterback sneak. Tries to jump over the first down marker, and I think he's got it.
I can tell you don't like that conservative approach.
No.
You're a lot like my normal partner, Mark Jones, that always wants to throw the football down the field. Patience. That's one thing you learn in this game is patience.
Well, you can't score. You gotta make an attempt every once in a while to get it in there.
No, I think you made an excellent point there. That would have been an excellent play action pass down.
So, a first down. Gradkowski has settled down after that interception a couple of drives ago. He's 5 for his last 5. Screen set up, read perfectly, and knocked down. That ball was almost intercepted. Kirsten Strothman read that
Signature
perfectly.
play for Toledo is the screens, and I want you to watch the defensive end right here. He is going to smell this screen and almost intercept this ball. But when you throw as many screens as Toledo does, at some point one of those linemen, if you don't chop them and get their hands on the ground, and Kirsten Strothman almost had him one right there.
2nd down in the full boat. The Rockets need 10. Kenny Higgins in motion. Higgins with the catch. Short gain. It was sniffed out. And the tackle is made. Smelling out those screens. You're a longtime defensive guy. What's the key to defending a team that screens very well?
Well, first of all, the best guy throwing those screens was your partner, Andre Ware. A lot of this is the run and shoot principle that Andre did so well at Houston. But the bottom line with screens, you can find players to defend screens, but sometimes you want defensive linemen rushing up the field. You don't want them playing passive. So screens are great weapons because they take away the aggressiveness of the defensive line.
3rd down and 6. Gradkowski wants a bunch, has a man, has 2 men. Pass is complete. Hudson with his first catch of the night. Gain of 41. Both Terrence Hudson and Kenny Higgins were both wide open.
Well, you're exactly right, Eric. Gradkowski had his pick of the 2 receivers right here. Again, excellent protection. Launches the ball down the field. Higgins wide open, and Hudson just cuts in front and makes the play. This guy's having his best year, and the reason is he stayed healthy. But you're right, he had 2 of them to pick from right there.
I think if Kenny Higgins had caught it, they would have had a touchdown. But Hudson with the 41-yard grab, and the ball is now on the 3-yard line. No problem. They have to wait a play, and then they get the touchdown. Scooter McDougal, his first score. Back-to-back impressive drives for the Toledo Rockets, much to the chagrin of Joe Novak.
Go back to the 4th down decision by Tom Amstutz to keep the drive alive. Coming into this game, Northern Illinois averaging 37 points a game, Toledo 36 points a game. You had the feeling it was going to be a shootout.
Jason Robbins, his second extra point attempt. And once again, it is a 3-point game. Remember, the MAC West title is on the line. NIU looking for their first MAC West title. They got to learn how to stop Toledo.
Huddle around some Tostitos chips and dip and grab some college football on ESPN.
Scooter McDougal, the second touchdown of the night for the Toledo Rockets, capping another steady drive. They converted a very early 4th down. Got in position because of Gradkowski, 41-yard completion to Terrence Hudson. In total, 13 plays, back-to-back 80-yard touchdown drives. Kickoff in the end zone, and Toledo.
ESPN2's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge.
Skell. That's Alt Skell Hall here on the campus of Northern Illinois. This is actually called the Barb City. Barbed wire was invented right here, first developed right here in DeKalb, Illinois.
Probably no classes tonight, right? I can't imagine. I haven't seen many people in that hall up there working to burning the midnight oil studying tonight.
They should cancel classes tomorrow, too, to make sure that everyone can enjoy themselves.
I'll tell you one thing, Eric. Right now, this Toledo defense, they had better figure out a way to stop the run, because this NIU offensive line right now is controlling this football. I mean, they are gashing.
A.J. Harris, 87 rushing yards. Getting the spot start, replacing Garrett Wolfe. Harris again with the football. Tries to keep the feet moving, and he's brought down. It'll bring up a 3rd down and short. Just so we're all on the same page, a win tonight guarantees an outright MAC West title for Northern Illinois. It would be their first ever MAC West title. They need to get past a very difficult Toledo team. Joe Novak coaching his 100th game here for the Northern Illinois Huskies. He's 45-54. And remember, his first 2 years, things didn't go well at all. Just 1 win in his first 2 years. So he's come a long way in the 9 years he's been on the sideline for the Huskies. And A.J. Harris is dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Tyree Pollard, a wrecking ball, comes in and stops Harris. It's a loss of 4.
And Tyree Pollard, a redshirt freshman, was an offensive lineman in high school. They got him down underneath 300 pounds. And I want you to watch him, number 61 right here. They just turned him loose, and that is a huge stop for Toledo.
So a 3 and out brings the punt team on for Northern Illinois. Back deep, Lance Moore. Anthony Gallagher kicks away. And a kick into the wind, not very good at all. Once again, the weather causing trouble for both punters. So Bruce Gradkowski will have great field position when he takes the field. And they've had back-to-back 80-yard touchdown drives. And Bruce Gradkowski, he hasn't been spectacular so far today, but he's been very solid. He could be the next great MAC quarterback.
He could be, because he's a big, strong guy. I mean, when you stand next to him, he's all of 215 pounds. Came to Toledo at 175 pounds. He's got a quick release, and he's really athletic. And you talk about the MAC. I mean, they just keep turning out these dynamic quarterbacks. Time will tell, but I think this guy has the tools, Eric. And you're right, he hasn't heated it up yet tonight, but I think he will before the night's over.
Changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Gradkowski wants to throw on first down. Throws behind his receiver, looking for the senior Lance Moore, and he may have taken advantage of the youngster Adriel Hansbrough for the second time. A little bit of a crafty play there, throwing behind the receiver and drawing the penalty.
And Eric, that is one of the most difficult things to defend when you are in press coverage, is a ball that is underthrown. And right there, that ball was really thrown over top, and definitely pass interference on Adriel Hansbrough.
The play resulted in an incomplete pass. Second down.
They're going to say that the ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage.
Well, there you go. If in fact it was, then all bets are off. That's close.
I'm not sure if the ball was tipped or whether the hand was tipped after the ball left.
I think the ball didn't really change trajectory, did it? Tough call right there for Toledo.
Kirsten Strothman was the man who got the big meat paw up. So on second down, they try a run, and McDougal picks up a couple. It'll bring up third down. Well, Bruce Gradkowski trying to join these four men who have had just wonderful success this season as starting quarterbacks in the NFL.
And I think one reason is the diversity in schemes in the MAC conference. You know, it used to be a little Big Ten where everybody tried to go out there and beat everybody up, but there's so many diversified schemes and a lot of opportunities for quarterbacks in this league.
Third down and 8. Gradkowski steps up. Remember, he's got good wheels. Wants to run for it, and he gets it done. We just saw those four quarterbacks, and all of those guys, Culpepper, Leftwich, Pennington, Roethlisberger, bigger guys. Gradkowski not as big, but he's got the speed.
But I'll tell you what, the common denominator, in my opinion, they all can run. And you take a look at Ben Roethlisberger last year. I had one of his games. In fact, the GMAC Bowl, they all were athletic enough to make plays. And Gradkowski is one of those kind of guys. Averaged 24 points a game in basketball. Really thought he was going to be a college basketball player because he wasn't being recruited real heavily in football.
Gradkowski steps up. Oh, man. Shot with an elephant gun. Ray Smith laying the wood on Steve Odom. Wow.
And Ray Smith is their #1 tackler from his safety position. And to me, this is kind of like a slam dunk in basketball. It gets everybody excited. You're going to watch Ray Smith right here break on this football. Boom. That is a great shot by the #1 tackler right there.
Well, Steve Odom was a little bit sleepy playing an evening ball game. He's no longer sleepy. He's wide awake now. Lance Moore with the sliding catch down to the 20-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd and 1.
Lance Moore last year, 103 catches, 66 catches this year. And again, they found something they like out there in Adriel Hansbrough, #12. They're going to work on him now. You can count on it.
Time becoming a factor here for Lance Moore and the Toledo Rockets. We're now down to 60 seconds remaining here in the first half. A score here, and the Rockets would go to the locker room on top. Not much doing. Scooter McDougal loses yards. And a timeout is called as 4th down is now facing Tom Amstutz and the Rockets. We'll take a timeout. Decision time for Tom Amstutz and the Rockets. 42 seconds remaining. They're down by 3. Northern Illinois on top of Toledo by 3, but that could change. Ball's on the 21-yard line. Toledo either looking at a 4th and 2 or a field goal attempt of 39 yards.
Well, and keep in mind, Gradkowski, #7, is the holder. And Tom Amstutz knows his defense is going to have a hard time shutting NIU out. Hold on.
It looks as if they're going to attempt a 39-yard field goal. Maybe not. They're going to go for it on 4th and 2. Timeout is called. A little bit of strategy there.
Excellent.
Forcing the hand of NIU.
And an excellent timeout right there by NIU. And you knew when you see Gradkowski as the holder, anything can happen with Tom Amstutz right there.
Let's go back to the studio where Reese Davis is standing by. Reese.
All right, Eric, Mark May is here with me. Coming up at halftime, you'll hear Maurice Clarett make accusations of serious rules violations against Ohio State. You'll also hear the Buckeyes' response. Also some baseball news, Cy Young news.
And I'll let you know if NFL teams are lining up to draft Maurice Clarett. And if you stick around, I'll probably tell you when he'll get drafted by the NFL.
And we also talk about the impact on Ohio State potentially and what Clarett's motivation was for going public with all of his allegations. All of that coming up at halftime, guys.
Reese and Mark, thank you so much. And, Coach, that's obviously a very disturbing situation just with Clarett and Ohio State. Just doesn't go away.
Well, it is. And from a coach's perspective, I mean, it's really your worst nightmare because it's really the fear of the unknown. It's like every day you wake up and you wonder what's coming next. And, you know, there's so many people and so many lives affected by all these allegations. I don't know if they're true or not, but, you know, I certainly feel for Ohio State and that football staff and really that whole university because, you know, that's your worst nightmare when you just don't know what's coming next from the standpoint of allegations.
Well, do we know if a field goal is coming next for Toledo? Maybe not. Once again, they line up, and once again, a timeout is called. Again, Northern Illinois confused over what Toledo's going to do.
Well,
they burn another timeout.
One thing we know for sure, if NIU gets the ball back, Tom Amstutz has made them burn their timeouts here with 42 seconds left in the half. And Joe Novak has a little bit of a sarcastic grin on his face over there.
What does Amstutz want to do here? Do they want to kick it? Do they want to go for it? Or are they just trying to burn timeouts?
Hey, this is a guy that went for it 9 times last week on 4th down. You want me to figure out what he's trying to do right here? I have no idea what he's trying to do, but he is using up the timeouts.
Well, tonight, Matt Weiner hosts NBA Nation with Tim Legler, Stephen A. Smith, Greg Anthony, Rick Bucher, Mark Stein, and a cast of thousands. As the most innovative NBA program on the dial covers the league from coast to coast, NBA Nation provides viewers with the most up-to-date NBA news and information, analysis, and opinions. In addition to the live look-ins, fans will also get their fill of highlights throughout the night. NBA Nation tips off tonight at 10:30 Eastern on ESPN2.
And you know what? That is probably excellent strategy right there by Tom Amstutz because the fact is he is going to go for it on 4th down. And if they don't make it, NIU really does have only 1 timeout left. So a method to that madness right there. Now let's see if they can make the 4th down. Probably play action pass.
Whole lot of nothing going on here.
These fans are booing. It's cold out here. I mean, they want to get to halftime.
So Toledo calls timeout now. 4 straight timeouts. Maybe Amstutz is getting a piece of the concessions here at Husky Stadium. Wants to make sure people grab some hot chocolate.
He got a little smile on his face, but if we go to the other sideline and just once again talk about Joe Novak, I have tremendous respect for what he's done here at Northern Illinois. I'm not sure I have great respect for those guys not wearing their shirts tonight, but you know, you look at what Joe Novak has done, particularly with the lack of facilities here at NIU. It really is amazing. And one point he brought up to me yesterday, you know, he's lost 7 coaches over the last 2 years. And that's a trademark of teams that are successful, particularly in a conference like the MAC. They have success. People come in and raid those coaches. And the reality is MAC schools can't pay coaches enough to keep the assistants. But their president, John Peters, really has stepped up, and now they're paying these coaches more, and they have made a commitment. They have a new athletic director, Jim Phillips, from Notre Dame, who will be outstanding here. They're in the process of raising money for a new football building. So, I mean, things are definitely on an upswing for NIU.
Once again, chicanery. It looks as if Gradkowski is going to go from holder to quarterback. In the shotgun, he has 5 receivers. One of them's the kicker out to the left side. Design drawing, Gronkowski, no chance. May have outthought themselves there. Gain of 1. They needed 2.
Again, all that to run the quarterback draw. Great penetration up front. And you have to think that Joe Novak has a bit of a sarcastic grin on his face, Eric, after all that strategizing, and they're able to stop him on 4th down.
And now it looks as if NIU will just take a knee and be content with a 3-point lead at the half. Josh Haldi takes a knee, and now everyone looks to the scoreboard to see if they'll have to do it one more time.
Afraid somebody's going to call timeout again before we get to the halftime.
Northern does not need to take another snap. Joe Novak looking for his first MAC West title. A win tonight would get it for the program. They've won 11 consecutive games here, but they've lost 10 consecutive to those Toledo Rockets. So a solid first 30 minutes of football here. 24 of the 31 points being scored collectively with the wind at the team's back. Let's go down in the field where Holly Rowe is standing by with the Toledo head man.
Well, Coach just said that was fun, wasn't it? But, Coach, what were you really thinking there, trying to go for it or go for the field goal?
That was fun. We were a little bit out of our range, and we were trying to make a play. But I'm excited. This is a lot of fun, a good, real fun football game. We're going to come back this half and win. What
was the key for you coming back to pull within 3 in the first half?
You know, our players are tough, and we had a few bad breaks early in the game. But we'll be back this half, and we're going to have a lot of fun this half.
All right, thanks, Coach. Eric, back to you.
Thank you, Holly. The Toledo Rockets have made a game of it. They trail by 3. Now let's go back to the studio and Reese Davis. Reese.
All right, Eric. Mark May joining me.
Tonight here in DeKalb, Illinois, fireworks in the sky and fireworks on the ground. Both teams running the football very effectively, eating up a lot of time on that clock. It's a 17-14 halftime score. Joe Novak and his Northern Illinois Huskies on top of the Toledo Rockets. First half, Toledo ran for 101 yards on the ground. NIU 93. Huskies will begin the second half with the football. Kickoff taken at the 21. Marcus Perez gets out close to the 40-yard line. Good field position for NIU. Take a look at our game track. We expected to see Garrett Wolfe. Instead, we've seen A.J. Harris, and he has done a great impersonation of Mr. Wolfe. He ran well in the first half, and a little bit of luck was on the side of NIU. A tip drill goes the way of Shantone Powers. Touchdown there, but more running for the Toledo Rockets. Scooter McDougal, one of 2 rushing touchdowns for Toledo. And our score, 17-14 at the half. First down. They fake the run. They want to throw. Tight end is open. But Haldi has bigger dreams. Over the outstretched hands of Dan Sheldon. He was wide open.
Toledo defensive coordinator Lou West told us he worked on deep balls all week. But this time, Danny Sheldon is just wide open and obviously should have been a touchdown. Off the play action, Toledo just turns one loose. And keep in mind, NIU with the wind, Eric, here in the third quarter may have impacted that throw just a little bit. So the wind at Northern Illinois is back.
Lou West, the defensive coordinator for Toledo, with a sigh of relief. Third down and long. Let's go down in the field and Holly Rowe. Holly.
Well, guys, you could see from that very first play call here in the second half what the priorities are for Joe Novak. He told me at halftime, score and score some more. He's concerned about the points that Toledo is putting up, and so their biggest focus is to score points and to convert. He said his only disappointment in the first half, their failure to convert on that third down in the second quarter. He said look for them to be a little bit more efficient here in the second half.
It's difficult to be efficient on 3rd and 12. See what happens. Haldi again throws high, and it's going to be a 3 and out. Not what the doctor ordered. Flag does fly late. There is a flag on the field. This may be a reprieve for NIU. Maybe not. It's going to go against the Huskies. So Joe Novak's club comes out of the locker room and has the football momentarily before they'll have to give it back. Not able to take advantage of very good starting field position. There is an injured Toledo Rocket down on the field.
And Eric, as we talk about fourth down, both these teams.
Number 62 was a clip. That penalties decline. Fourth down.
Seth Fitoff still being tended to in the middle of the field for the Toledo Rockets, gingerly getting to his feet, and he will have to be helped off. Fitoff, just a sophomore.
Back to my point of fourth down and struggles in the punting game. We've talked about Toledo's problems in the first half punting the football, but NIU, Eric, comes into this game 110 in the country in net punting. There's only 117 teams, so Northern Illinois is struggling as well. And Anthony Gallagher, their punter in the first half, one punt for 17 yards. He does have the wind at his back, but NIU struggles as well in the punting game.
This is the first time that NIU has had to punt with the wind at their back. Every other time with the wind at their back, they were able to score. Gallagher, a senior, Davidson, Michigan, averages close to 40 yards per boot. With the wind at his back, gets a good one off. Inside the 15-yard line, Steve Odom tries the left side, and he's dragged down. Odom thought he had room down the left side, but Jason Hawkins closed quickly, and it's just a 6-yard return. Let's take a look at the first half stats. We mentioned that both teams very effective on the ground.
What you see in this football game, very similar teams, very even teams, and that's why the MAC Conference West title is at stake right here. These teams are very similar. Tom Amstutz knows that was a big stop by his defense. Get the football back in Gradkowski's hands.
Scooter McDougal, lone setback behind Bruce Gradkowski. They fake to him. Gradkowski at the roll. Set up to his tight end. Chris Holmes with the catch. Ryan Atkinson brings him down, but not before a gain of 13.
You have to like big Chris Holmes, the tight end. You're going to see him right here. We're going to get play action, and he's going to run a crossing route across the field on 1st and 10 off the play action. But I like this big Chris Holmes, Eric. 275 pounds. They use him as a tight end, a motion guy. He's a talented player.
McDougal, his first carry of the second half. Gets one, maybe two. He had 48 yards of rushing in the first half. Toledo needs to win to have any chance at all going to the MAC championship game. They need to win tonight, and they need to win 2 weeks from today when they take on Bowling Green. But they do control their own destiny. A win today and a win against Bowling Green State, and they will go to the MAC championship game, Ford Field. Gradkowski, another short toss complete to Chris Holmes. And Coach, Chris Holmes is a little bit of an aberration. Northern Illinois says they want to get all the Chicago kids who are MAC caliber players. Well, Chris Holmes is a Chicago guy. He played in the public league at Whitney Young High School, but he got away from Joe Novak, and he's playing now for the Toledo Rockets.
That's a great point, and NIU a huge advantage with, what, 9 million people right down the road in Chicago. The only MAC school in the state of Illinois, the westernmost MAC school geographically, so they better keep him in Chicago.
McDougal, another strong run, another first down. Gain of 4. for the sophomore from Cleveland.
And going back to Holly's point in her conversation with Joe Novak, Joe Novak knows that this Toledo offense is going to score some points in the second half. That's why offensively, that missed deep ball NIU had to Danny Sheldon was huge, Eric, in his football game, because looks like this Toledo offense getting in rhythm right now.
Toledo has won the last 10 meetings between these two schools. A little bit behind the intended receiver, Steve Odom. Radkowski a little bit off the mark. Bruce Radkowski has not been setting the world on fire this evening, but he has put his team in a position to move the chains. They had 2 80-yard touchdown drives in the first half.
A good job of taking what the defense gives you. They ran the football. Very good balance in this offense. But you're right, Bruce Radkowski, who 71% completion rating coming into this game. Not many screens in this game, Eric, which is a signature of this Toledo offense.
5 receivers. He chooses one. Complete to the 50-yard line. Steve Odom with another grab. Steve Odom, one of the best route runners on the Rockets. Good possession receiver.
And Steve Odom's a guy you talk about recruiting. Really not recruited out of high school, but he was in Toledo's summer camp prior to his senior year in high school. And Tom Amstead just liked the way he caught the ball. Last year had 62 catches as a freshman. So a lot of talent and skill, guys.
Odom with 4 catches, 25 yards so far this evening.
And you know this is 4-down territory for Tom Amstead, even though it's 3rd down here.
They fake to Jalen Parmalee. Wide open is the tight end. Chris Holmes, another catch. Gain of 7, and the chains move once again. Toledo has been solid out of the chute here in the second half.
Right here, Parmalee, the running back, does a good job of pinning the linebacker, Javen Lee. And a good call right there on 3rd down and 2 by Rob Spence, offensive coordinator. Northern Illinois off balance right now a little bit, Eric, defensively. Good mixture of play calling.
Play clock down to 4. Radkowski, little short pass, gets it out to Odom. Odom again with good 1st down yards. Rob Lee finally pushes them out of bounds, but not before 8 more yards picked up. We're here at Brigham Field at Husky Stadium, DeKalb, Illinois. MAC football. Eric Collins, Bob Davie, Holly Rowe on the call. Day 13 of 19 consecutive nights of football. ESPN, ESPN2, or ABC. Tom Amstutz and his Toledo Rockets have dominated Joe Novak's NIU Huskies of late. 10 consecutive wins in this series. 2nd and manageable. Scooter McDougal picks up the 1st down.
Impressive right now, Eric. Previous play, Toledo runs their signature play, the bubble screen. They come back here and hand the football to Scooter McDougal. You know, Tom Amsted's an old defensive coach. Kind of likes this spread dynamic offense right now. Rob Spence came in from Louisiana Tech, the offensive coordinator. Really has done a great job with this Toledo offense.
Ball to 27. Radkowski gets it over to Higgins, and Higgins trying to squirrel out of some trouble. Can't do it. Can't even get back to the line of scrimmage. Lionel Hickenbottom got in there and brings him down for a loss of 4, but a late flag comes in.
There is a flag on the play.
Following the play, dead ball, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 4, 15-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Mistake on the part of Kenny Higgins.
We're going to get a chance to see this. A bad situation just got worse for Toledo. And right here, Higgins, I mean, that's not the most vicious, even for a wide receiver, the most vicious of licks, but probably one of those retaliation deals. where the second guy gets caught. But, man, if you're going to get one, we got to go ahead and get one. I mean, that wasn't worth it right there.
2nd and 29. Interesting play call here. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right for Gradkowski. They hand it off, and McDougal rips off a good gain. 2nd and 29 turns in to 3rd down and 16. But McDougal a little bit shaken up as he limps off to the sideline.
Excellent job on 1st down, Eric, of getting some yardage back, and you have to be impressed with McDougal. Big, strong back. Again, the freshman back, Parmalee, number 33 in the game for Tom Amstutz.
The clock continues to move on this good opening drive for the Rockets. Jalen Parmalee. Now the runner next to Gradkowski. Again, the tight end with the catch. Holmes close to 1st down yards, but he's going to be short. Ray Smith brings him down. It'll be 4th and a couple.
NIU, not a nickel team. So right here, you're going to see Holmes come out and work on the linebacker, number 22 right here, Justin Hawkins. So they get the tight end. You see Hawkins, the linebacker. Excellent throw and catch right there to the big tight end. And you're not surprised right now. Wonder if this is going to be another timeout extravaganza like we had done in the 1st half on 4th down.
Toledo, they take the timeout. It's their first. When we come back, it's decision time. 4th and 4 for the Rockets.
ESPN puts the spotlight on the highlight with ESPN 25 The Book, which includes a bonus DVD of classic SportsCenter commercials. ESPN 25.
Just Toolbox, the Home Depot. You can do it. We can help.
Big play here at Husky Stadium in DeKalb, Illinois. Toledo down by 3. Will go for it on 4th and 4. Wind of 15 miles an hour directly into the Toledo offense. A 39-yard field goal, maybe a little bit too far with that wind. So they go for it on 4th. Gradkowski, a man wide open. Higgins makes up for his personal foul with a catch inside the 10-yard line, gain of 13.
And Higgins makes up, Eric, for the personal foul penalty. That was an amazing conversion right there. Again, NIU in zone coverage, and that's just picking them apart right there. Higgins comes back and makes up for the mistake. A huge 1st down conversion. Was there any doubt Toledo Tommy was going to go for it on 4th down right there?
After a 2nd and 29, they convert. Now 1st and goal. Scooter McDougal busts through a tackle. Can't do it twice. Lionel Hickenbottom, captain, we called his name quite frequently. He's there to make the touchdown-saving tackle.
Hickenbottom, a prop 48 out of high school, meaning he was academically ineligible, would have been recruited, in Joe Novak's opinion, by most schools in the country. A knee injury 2 years ago, and he is a good football player. He's captain, and he will hit you, but you also see the strength of Scooter McDougal.
Dalton, Illinois, on the south side of Chicago, over by Calumet City. 2nd down. McDougal. Stopped by Adriel Hansbrough. Loss of 1. Hansbrough was taken advantage of in the 1st half, but he gets even here in the 3rd quarter.
You see again the little wrap play. Give the ball to McDougal. We see Gradkowski come around there, but an excellent play by the corner up there, Adriel Hansbrough, who has a twin brother on this team, Alva Hansbrough, number 11.
This will be interesting if they don't get this here. It's 3rd down and goal. Would they dare to go for it on 4th down? Remember, they're only down by 3. Gradkowski. Pass knocked down. Brian Atkinson playing with that fractured jaw. Knocks the football away.
Brian Atkinson in zone coverage against empty Novaks makes a play right here. Excellent athleticism. He was an outside linebacker last year, moved to middle linebacker this year. You mentioned the fractured jaw, also a foot problem.
Jason Robbins 7 for 8 on the year. This is a 25-yard attempt. And Robbins ties it up at 17 apiece. The biggest game in the MAC so far this year has been as advertised. It's a 17-17 tie, 6:17 remaining, third quarter. On a cold night, the Toledo Rockets have been warmed by some splendid offense. The most recent drive, pretty spectacular. 17 plays, 74 yards, capped off by a Robbins 25-yard field goal. If you're a fan of the number 17, 17 plays, ties it up 17-17, and there's 6:17 remaining here in the third quarter.
It's pretty good right there. And Toledo converting after a 2nd and 29 situation, able to convert and get 3 points on the board.
Bouncing ball picked up by Hickenbottom. Hickenbottom with a flag down on the field. He goes down at the 25. Coach, this is a big possession here.
It is, and I'm afraid Northern Illinois is going to start deep in their own territory after that hold on the kickoff return.
Illegal block in the back on the return team, number 49. That's a 10-yard penalty. First down.
ESPN2's College Football Primetime. Brought to you by the Chronicles of Riddick, the unrated director's cut that's pure adrenaline. Coming to DVD November 16th.
We're here on the campus of Northern Illinois University. 65 miles due west of Chicago, about 45 miles away from Rockford. Important drive for the Huskies as they need to capitalize on having the wind at their back. Josh Haldi goes deep. Flags fly. It's going to be against Toledo. Dan Sheldon was mugged by Antonio Malone.
Antonio Malone having a tough night, Eric. And this Danny Sheldon can fly.
Defense, pass interference, number 30. That's a previous block foul, 15 yards, automatic first down.
Again, difficult when the ball is underthrown and the defensive back is trying to sprint and catch up and get in phase with the receiver. Very, very difficult not to get called for interference in that situation.
For Northern Illinois, Josh Haldi has been able to muster just 1 first down since early in the second quarter. That was it. It came via the penalty. Dan Sheldon, for the most part, has been shut out. He was open on a potential touchdown earlier, but they weren't able to hit him. And now Haldi goes down, wrapped up and sacked behind the line of scrimmage for a big loss. David Thomas and Keon Jackson combined to bring him down.
You see Lou West there, the defensive coordinator, been around this 8-man front a long time, particularly at Virginia Tech, where he's the secondary coach. And right here, Keon Jackson, number 6, comes up with a big play. This kid is a heck of a blitzer. It's only his 2nd sack of the year, but he has 6 tackles for losses. There we look at Lou West, a longtime assistant at Virginia Tech and Notre Dame.
They fake the reverse. Instead, A.J. Harris keeps it and gets out close to the 35. Let's go down in the field where Holly Rowe is standing by. Holly.
Well, guys, for the Toledo Rockets, defensive end Seth Thidoff is out for the game. We see him just being wheeled back onto the sideline in a cart with a broken leg. He is done for the season, it would appear. Now, the backup is going to be Bernard Faithful, number 57. He's just a freshman. He's a backup on the other end, but they have put him in there right now to take Seth Thidoff's place.
Obviously very disappointing for Seth Thidoff. Thank you, Holly. On a cold night. Pass in and out of the hands of Chatone Powers. A mistake on 3rd down is going to lead to another punt.
And give credit to Toledo's defense. That's 3 freshmen playing up front for them right now with Faithful in at defensive end. And Joe Novak knows right now he's in a bit of trouble because this offensive football team for Toledo is about ready to get the football back after an 80-yard drive.
That drive, such that it lasted less than a minute and a half. Northern will have to give the football back. Toledo has just taken another timeout. Interesting. That's now their second timeout called here in the second half. They have just one remaining. What happened on there?
That time they only had 10 men on the field. So rather than risk maybe a fake punt, they went ahead and called timeout. But these fourth downs bring out the timeouts for Toledo. No question about it.
Thursday, join ESPN for night 15 of 19 days of primetime football on ESPN, ESPN2, or ABC. Chuck Amato's NC State team faces a must-win situation if they want to reach a bowl game. They take on Bobby Bowden's Florida State Seminoles. The Seminoles have lost 2 of the last 3 meetings between Florida State and the Wolfpack of NC State. College football primetime presented by Cooper Tires Thursday at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. Joe Novak has got to be wondering with the things that have gone wrong lately. Maybe there's a reason why they lost 10 consecutive games.
Well, he's trying to keep that out of his mind right now, but here's where they struggle. We mentioned 110 out of 117 schools NCAA in net punting. This is a sore spot for Northern Illinois.
After the timeout, Gallagher kicks a low bouncing kick, fielded on one out by Steve Odom. And Odom doesn't go very far at all. Alva Hansbrough brings him down. Well, last year, Northern Illinois was the belle of the ball. They had a wonderful beginning to their season, taking down Maryland in overtime here at Husky Stadium. They were 7-0, and Joe Novak felt like the king of the world. Another non-conference game ended in victory against Alabama. Game down in Tuscaloosa. Josh Haldi, 16 of 24, 2 touchdowns. Northern Illinois shocked Alabama 19-16. Another non-conference win against Big 12 team Iowa State. Joe Novak had people talking about his program a year ago. Bruce Gradkowski will throw on first down. Hits Scooter McDougal. Bounces out across the 25, gain of 8.
We talk about that last year Northern Illinois team, Eric, and it was a great story. The problem, they lost to Bowling Green and Toledo, ended up 10-2. A great season, a great team. But Joe Novak told me yesterday that this Northern Illinois team is actually a better football team.
Last year, Northern won everywhere in the entire country with the exception of Northwestern Ohio. Couldn't beat Toledo or BG. Both teams based very close to Toledo.
When we talk about the MAC Conference Bowl situation, obviously the winner of the MAC Conference Championship game December 2nd at Ford Field, automatic bowl bid to either the GMAC or the Motor City Bowl. They have one other bowl opportunity. Another MAC team will go, but it is not necessarily the runner-up or the loser of that MAC championship game. But they do have 2 bowl bids secured. The winner automatically goes from the championship game, the GMAC or the Motor City, their pick of the remaining teams who they want as the second MAC team.
They're going to measure, and it's just a little bit short. Probably about 2 or 3 Chicago-style hot dogs short of the first down. So Tom Amstutz, who knows his way around a hot dog or two, going to have an interesting play call on third down.
I knew you were thinking that.
They're good.
That was a...
You take a hot dog and you rake it through the garden, is what they say here in Chicago. Third down and inches. Considering that they don't like the punt, this may be 4-down territory, considering how close they are to the first down. Scooter McDougal, lone setback behind Gradkowski. And Gradkowski keeps it himself. He's fighting for it, but I'm not totally convinced he got there. Looks like they're getting a very good spot.
I think
they're going to call for the chains again.
Interesting story about Bruce Gradowski as we wait for this 4th down measurement. You know, I mentioned he is from Pittsburgh, obviously a huge Pittsburgh Steeler fan, and he told me last night his mom always watches the Steeler games and then gives him little tips that Ben Roethlisberger did in the Steelers game to try to help Bruce in his game. So a huge Pittsburgh Steeler fan. He's got his mom coaching him up. Ben Roethlisberger's had a great year, though, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. He has been everything that Toledo has needed. He's been able to make the big play when they need it, and he's been able to avoid making the mistakes. Threw an interception in the first half, but that was just his 5th interception on the campaign. They get the first down. Fresh set of downs, ball to 27. McDougal and the run defense of NIU starts to stiffen. And is Gradkowski the next big name to come out of the Mid-American Conference? Ben Roethlisberger was so special a year ago. Undefeated in MAC play. 8-0. Gradkowski has a long name. But maybe we'll have to wait a while to see if the skill level matches up. From the shotgun on 2nd and 10. This time McDougal gets it out of the backfield. Robley brings him down, but another big gain, this time 8 yards for McDougal.
And the thing I like about Gradkowski, Eric, is just his patience. As we look at his scoring drives tonight, this is not his best night. He's playing against a very conservative defense in Northern Illinois, making him be patient. And he's hung in there on not his best night and led this football team on some long drives.
41 plays for 3 scoring drives. 2 touchdowns and a field goal. 3rd and 2. McDougal has it and more. Scooter McDougal has been a workhorse here in the second half.
And Eric, we look at this replay. Scooter McDougal did this on his own. As we look at both linebackers, Atkinson in the backfield right there had an opportunity to make a play, as well as Javen Lee, the outside linebacker. Impressive run by this guy.
There's Brian Atkinson, all-MAC performer a year ago, playing tonight with a fractured jaw. McDougal's over 100 total yards. Gradkowski calls his own number and picks up 6 yards on 1st down.
Excellent creativity by Gradkowski as we let this thing roll. You're going to see what he wanted to do was flip the shuffle pass if we stop it right here. But Steve Odom got held up, and Gradkowski just kept the ball. But that was supposed to be a little flip shuffle pass. But again, Gradkowski, Eric, showing his elusiveness in the open field.
Gradkowski throwing deep down the left sideline. Jump ball. Miraculous catch by Lance Moore. Gain of 40. He simply wanted it more.
And that is not the first time he has done it. He had 103 catches last year, led the country. Gradkowski lays it out there, underthrows it just a little bit, and that has to remind you a little bit of some of the plays Braylon Edwards, #1 from Michigan, has made this year. Just went up over the top of Adriel Hansbrough and made a play.
Lance Moore, a black belt in karate, showing some of that hand strength, ripping the ball away from Adriel Hansbrough. 1st down, 10-yard line. Scooter McDougal Toledo, their first lead of the night. 10-yard scamper for Scooter. Momentum definitely on the side of the Rockets. They have taken a couple of punches early. They're down 10-0, but they have come back with a flurry of barrages to the midsection of the NIU Huskies. Toledo with 16 unanswered points, trying to make it 17 unanswered. Jason Robbins does. It's 24-17.
And big-time plays right there by a couple of playmakers. Lance Moore going up over the top, and then Scooter McDougal. And I want you to as we let this roll, I want you to watch this corner right here. Adriel Hansbrough had an opportunity to make a play, as well as Ray Smith, the strong safety. But McDougal, again, an excellent block by the tight end, Chris Holmes. And right there, number 48, Ray Smith, unblocked. But a couple excellent plays right there by Toledo's skill players.
The numbers are staggering here in the third quarter. Toledo, with that 83-yard drive, they have now rushed, they've totaled 172 yards this quarter alone. Northern Illinois, they have just 3 yards this quarter. And remember, Tom Amstutz and his Rockets, they went into the wind this entire period.
But think about this, on NIU's first possession, Eric, they had their talented wide receiver, Danny Shelton, open for what would have been a touchdown, did not take advantage, and it's been all Toledo since that point.
Little short kick, trying to keep it below the wind. Little stinger picked up by Hickenbottom. And Hickenbottom out to the 35-yard line. And this has been very impressive. The Toledo Rockets, they were down 10-0 early, but they did not skip a beat. They have come back, and they look very confident right now.
Exactly, Eric. And we thought Toledo would move the ball and score a lot of points, but give credit right now to this young Toledo defense that stepped up here in the second half and got the ball back twice for their offense. So Joe Novak said at the Holly Row, NIU needs points because he knows Toledo is capable of exploding and scoring a lot of points. And you got to love Lance Moore, the all-time leading receiver at Toledo, going up and making that big play.
Huge 40-yard grab for Lance Moore, simply wanting the football more than the cornerback. A.J. Harris on first down picks up a couple.
And if you're Joe Novak, you are thinking about 10 straight losses to Toledo and 0-7 against Toledo, particularly because you started off, Eric, with a 10-0 lead in this football game tonight.
A win for Northern Illinois would guarantee them a trip to the MAC championship game. Big hit is made. Pass incomplete. Keon Jackson coming up with some anger, hitting Sam Hurd.
And Josh Haldi, that time, hung his wide receiver out. And Keon Jackson, the strong safety, came up with a big lick. But this time, Josh Haldi rolling to his left. The ball should not have been thrown. And very fortunate right there that Keon Jackson didn't go make a play on that ball, or he may have intercepted that thing.
Since the tip ball that was a touchdown reception, Josh Haldi has not completed a pass. Now he does. Hits his tight end, Brad Cieslak, for a big first down. Third down is converted, and NIU needs to keep the ball, and they will.
Big third down conversion to Cieslak, the tight end. He is their second leading receiver on this football team. And again, Antonio Malone, number 30, get him out of the game. I mean, he is limping around and he is hurt. And I believe right now he is out of the football game.
Josh Haldi now with 400 completions as the quarterback for the Huskies. They run the football. A.J. Harris tried to spread it wide, and he can't. Keon Jackson strings it out. Tackle is made, and that'll do it for the third quarter of play. It was all Toledo. Tom Amstutz's crew a field goal and a touchdown. And now they are just one fourth quarter away from their 11th consecutive win over Northern Illinois. NIU needs to find some answers. We'll see if they find them when we come back.
Is it true your zesty chicken border bowl isn't made until
The Huskies have seen their offense turn to mush. NIU hasn't scored since the early part of the second quarter. They trailed 24-17. The Toledo Rockets needing a win if they want any chance at all at winning the MAC West. Both these two teams control their own destiny.
The bottom line, Eric, if Northern Illinois wins tonight, they win the MAC West outright. If Toledo wins, they have to beat Bowling Green next week and finish the season with 2 big weeks. In fact, I think they have an open date prior to that game.
November 23rd, they play that game. Second down and 12. Haldi completes it. Jake Nordine will bring up a third down and manageable. And remember, folks, this game began with a little bit of confusion. Garrett Wolfe was expected to be the lone wolf in the backfield for the Huskies, but he had an eye injury due to an altercation a couple of days ago, and he's not even on the field today. He's not playing at all, and Garrett Wolfe had been a huge force in recent weeks. In his stead, A.J. Harris has done yeoman work, but he has not been as spectacular as Garrett Wolfe had been in recent weeks. On third down, a little trickery, inside screen. Dan Sheldon can't do anything with it. Defense perfectly by Anthony Jordan.
Let me tell you something. As much as Toledo runs those jailbreak screens, Eric, don't try to throw them on Toledo's defense. They see them every day in practice. And look at Anthony Jordan right there, the linebacker. He practices against that stuff every day. He just engulfed that thing.
So the punt team comes on. This will be the third punt of the second half for NIU. Gallagher kicks it away. Calling for the fair catch and making it is Lance Moore. And the Toledo Rockets will start with the football at the 15-yard line. Tonight, Matt Weiner hosts NBA Nation with Tim Legler, Stephen A. Smith, Greg Anthony, Rick Bucher, Mark Stein, and a cast of thousands. As the most innovative NBA program on the dial covers the league from coast to coast. NBA Nation provides viewers with the most up-to-date NBA news and information, analysis, and opinions. In addition to the live look-ins, fans will also get their fill of highlights throughout the night. NBA Nation tips off tonight at 10:30 Eastern on ESPN2. Radkowski looking for another scoring drive. Fakes the handoff, rolls left, hits his tight end. Holmes another catch. And once again, a good first down play. 8th reception for Chris Holmes.
Again, you have to love the patience of Gradkowski. And right here, you're going to see the tight end Holmes kind of delay and then come out of there. He had to cross route the other tight end. But Gradkowski very patient, and the tight end Holmes eventually comes open right here. I like his composure. And this is a key defensive series right now for Northern Illinois, in my opinion, because this crowd is out of it right now. Momentum clearly on Toledo's side. They got to get up and go to class tomorrow, these guys. And they need something to cheer about right now. Still, bottom line, Tuesday night, it's a pretty good deal. Big-time MAC West championship game Tuesday night.
Total plays totally in favor of Toledo. McDougal with the carry on first down, and McDougal rips off another big chunk. Big slabs of yardage coming off easily for the Toledo Rocket offense now.
We have to talk about Toledo. Lost their first 2 games to Minnesota and Kansas. Gave up 63 points in those 2 football games. Won 6 straight. Lost last week to Miami, but had 4 turnovers. Still control their own destiny, Eric, as you mentioned. Great job by Tom Amstead of not panicking, stay positive, and he is a positive guy by nature. I think he's done a great job with this football team.
Talk about a difficult road to hoe. Last week, Toledo having to go to Oxford to take on the Miami Redhawks. They lost that game. Now on the road tonight against NIU. Arguably the best program in the MAC over the last 3 years when you think about combined. And then 2 weeks from now, they're still on the road against Bowling Green State.
And keep in mind, there's no charter sitting out there at the airport to take these guys back. I mean, there's a big old Greyhound with about 6 hours worth of highway in front of Toledo tonight. And I promise you this, climbing on that bus, it's a lot easier trip when you win than when you lose.
2 plays, 2 first downs on this drive. This time, a little bit more difficult for Scooter McDougal. With more on that bus ride, let's go down to Holly. Holly?
Well, guys, it is a 5-hour bus ride to Toledo, but we asked these players how they like playing on Tuesday and how it's affecting their class schedule. They said that they went to their professors, most of them at the very beginning of the year, and let them know what was happening, that there would be 3 Tuesday games during this football season. They decided that what they could do is work ahead. Now, Bruce Gradkowski told us, for instance, he has worked ahead, but he can't get out of that finance test that he's got coming up on Wednesday. He says Trinity Dawson has offered to tutor him on the bus ride on the way home. We'll see how it goes.
Thank you, Holly. Ooh, Gradkowski just gets it off. Under some heat, he finds Lance Moore.
And that time, Javen Lee, the outside linebacker, has his sights on Gradkowski. Watch right here. Again, an excellent job of just standing in there flat-footed. A lot of courage right there, and Gradkowski delivered that football. But this guy's from Pittsburgh now. All those Pittsburgh guys are tough, huh? You got that right. His dad works at the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette back there. Interesting, Danny Marino's dad. When I coached at Pittsburgh, Danny Marino was obviously the quarterback of Pittsburgh. His dad worked at the Pittsburgh Press and Post-Gazette.
The newspaper that breeds quarterbacks. Maybe we'll see that on the top of the newspaper on the Sunday edition from now on. Scooter McDougal gave him a couple.
But Holly brought up that point about Gradkowski. Wednesday's tomorrow, right? So he has a final tomorrow morning, and I hope that professor's watching right now. Because think about it now. He's out here playing right now, doing what he's doing on this football, but he's going to go 6 hours on a bus home. I don't know if he can cut him a break or not, but I'm asking him to.
Second down and 7. Gradkowski showing those quick feet. Steps out of the pocket and simply throws it away and lives to fight another day.
That time, Quince Holman, number 96. Excellent pressure, and in a big-time lick by the outside linebacker, Justin Hawkins. Chris Holmes, number 81, has become a factor in the pass offense for Toledo, but he's actually lined up as a blocking back right here in the backfield. Toledo will use their last timeout on 3rd down.
This may be a factor. The final timeout for Toledo has been burned. Will that come back to haunt them? We shall find out. 3rd and 7 for the Rockets when we come back. Husky Stadium in DeKalb, Illinois. Gorgeous facility here, but not a lot of activity out there. The activity is right here. It's inside. That's where you want to be. Not any warmer inside than it is outside, but it's a whole heck of a lot more fun. 3rd down at 7. Ball at the 48-yard line. Bruce Gradkowski trying to work some magic here. With time, throws deep, has a man, Lance Moore. Lance Moore is a special player. Good pass, but even better catch by the senior from Columbus.
That time, Toledo plays, Northern Illinois plays 2 deep coverage, and they throw the corner route outside the safety, Lionel Hickenbottom, and that is an excellent throw and a great read by the quarterback and the wide receiver of converting that route and taking advantage of cover 2. That was a big-time communication right there to get that corner route right. right. Run, right. I thought you were going to bail me out right there. I got stuck on it.
Lance Moore now has his 5th consecutive 100-yard receiving day. He's at 103 yards. To the end zone. Incomplete. Looking for Odom. He had it, and then he dropped it.
Give credit to Rob Lee, NIU's best coverage corner. They're in bump coverage. And an excellent job by Rob Lee of just staying with that ball, competing enough to knock it out of there. Almost another great catch.
Bruce Gradkowski surveying the defense. Play clock winding down. Remember, they have no more timeouts. Little end around. They give it to Higgins. Higgins has got a lot of speed, but he can't use it with 5 jerseys in front of him. Loss of 5. That's a big play because Tom Amstutz' club is already in field goal range.
Higgins, obviously the reverse player for Toledo. He ran 2 last week. And you're going to see the defensive end right there, number 50, Kirsten Strothman, up the field. And then great pursuit by the inside linebacker, Brian Atkinson, outside linebacker, Javen Lee. Interesting call right there, Eric. Anytime a reverse doesn't work, it's an interesting call. You're right.
3rd down and 15. Terrence Hudson, the man in motion. Movement on the line. That may be their all-conference tackle, Nick Kaiser.
Field goal position, obviously a factor, but they are with the wind right here.
Delay. 25-second count on the offense. Number 7. It's a 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So Nick Kaiser off the hook. Instead of a movement penalty on the line, it's delay of game. Nick Kaiser is a special player. He's one of those finds for Tom Amstutz that's just blossomed into a wonderful collegiate player.
That is an amazing story, isn't it? This young man's from Ontario, Canada. They found him at a combine. He wasn't even playing football. He was out of football 2 years, right?
2 years out of
Toledo found him at a scouting combine. He will play in the East-West game and the Hula Bowl.
Gradkowski simply has to throw it up. Throws it behind his receiver, and a late flag flies. Lance Moore thrown to the ground, and Toledo may be bailed out once again. Adriel Hansbrough looked to be all over Lance Moore.
Again, the officials are talking about, was that a catchable ball? But again, you're going to see Lance Moore.
Pass interference, number 9.
Excellent move off the line of scrimmage. Again, the corner out, ball's underthrown, and yeah, you have to call it. And we see the replay, the pressure. Javen Lee and number 47, Hawkins number 22, and Javen Lee number 47, and he has taken some licks tonight. Unfortunate pass interference penalty there, and Adriel Hansbrough is getting worked on tonight.
Bruce Gradkowski hasn't had that uniform dirty. 35 pass attempts, no sacks, even though he was drilled by the double team just a moment ago. 1st and goal. Ball at the 10-yard line. Fresh set of downs. Scooter McDougal. Little bit of shake. Inside the 5 to the 4. Touchdown here, and it may be Katie barred the door. The Rockets have been able to stop NIU defensively. So another touchdown by Toledo, and Joe Novak's team may be up against it.
And right now, if you're Northern Illinois' defense, don't cave in. Just force a field goal right here, because you get the feeling that up 2 touchdowns, Northern Illinois, primarily a running team, that's a pretty high mountain to climb.
McDougal sniffing the end zone. Comes up a couple of inches short. 3rd down and a half a yard.
Again, you see the power and the strength of McDougal at 235 pounds. What you like about this Toledo offense, Eric, they are a balanced offense. Rob Spence, the offensive coordinator I've mentioned, had been at Louisiana Tech years ago, really has a run and shoot background to a degree. 4 wide, spread in the field. You see the screen packages, but he also is not afraid to line up with 2 tight ends or 3 tight ends and power the football. So I really like the balance of this Toledo offense.
Jason Hawkins is the man a little bit stunned in the end zone right now for Northern Illinois. He was an absolutely splendid high school running back, playing for the Schaumburg Saxons, not too far away from here. He was first-team All-State, rushed for over 2,700 yards as a senior, went down to the state championship game with the Saxons, 41 touchdowns. But Joe Novak said, son, you're a linebacker. Converted him, and now he has to sit on the sideline for a very big 3rd and goal. Ball at the 1-yard line. Jalen Parmalee has checked in. He is behind Bruce Gradkowski, the 12th play this drive.
It's amazing how they put the freshman running back in on the goal line.
And the freshman running back gets in. Touchdown, Toledo. Took a while to sort it all out, but I'm sure the Rockets don't mind waiting a bit as long as they get 6. Jalen Parmalee had never scored a collegiate touchdown until tonight. He's got 2.
How about the confidence in the Toledo staff? Put him in goal line situations. A true freshman coming into this game with only 19 carries. You hate to waste that time out right there if you're Northern Illinois.
We'll take a timeout with a timeout on the field. Toledo ahead by 13, looking for the extra point. We'll be back in a moment. We're back here for the extra point attempt. Jason Robbins, no problem. It's now a 14-point lead, courtesy of 2 touchdown runs by Jalen Parmalee. The freshman from Midland, Michigan, has done his part.
And now the game swings over to the quarterback, Josh Haldi from Northern Illinois. All of a sudden, a running football team, Northern Illinois, is going to be forced right here to throw this football to win it and going into the win.
Coach, you're a former defensive guy.
Now you can skip retail and buy almost anything for your home direct at Direct Buy Showroom.
Play in the middle quarters of the field. The 2 corners play deep quarters, but they actually come up and press and play bump and run to take away the short throw. So that is kind of their base defense.
So the Huskies ranked 22nd in the country, needing a win tonight to wrap up their first MAC West title outright. They're having a difficult time. They're down by 14 points. Kickoff in the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Let's go down to the field and Holly.
Well, guys, you talk about special kids, and here's one tonight. Kind of my unsung hero for the game. Seth Didoff left the game with a broken leg. But instead of being inside a warm locker room watching this on television, he asked to be carted out here. He is laying out here on the sideline on a gurney. It is freezing out here. Add to that he's got ice on his ankle. I asked him why. He said, I just have to see my guys play. He's laying here watching the game on the Jumbotron. He's right next to all of his teammates where he can be part of this team, guys. But gosh, kind of a gutsy thing right now for this young man with a devastating injury.
That is a special circumstance. It happens when you play college football. Just the love of the game, love your team. Thanks, Holly. That's
a great story. I wonder what he was looking at right there, but obviously he can see the Jumbotron.
And we hope he's okay, and it's not that bad of an injury because still a young guy. He's got a lot of football left to be played, just a sophomore. After an incompletion, it's now 2nd down and 10 for Josh Haldi and the Huskies of NIU.
You have to get the football to number 5, Dan Sheldon.
And they do. Sheldon with the football and the first down. Gain of 13 for the senior from Elgin.
And you have to love Danny Sheldon. Runs a 4.3740 for the NFL scouts. The fastest player on the team. Was a running back in high school. Moved him to wide receiver. This guy's dad is a judge and is here at the game tonight.
Sheldon just with his third catch. Haldi escapes the rush, but can't escape the rush forever. Sacked by Sean Williamson. Williamson and Phil Alexander combined to bring down Josh Haldi.
And one thing Alexander better watch right there is getting a celebration penalty by crossing those arms. We look right there at Phil Alexander. He's going to come back into the screen.
Second down and long. On the run, Haldi throws it into coverage, and it's intercepted. Nigel Morris with his second interception of the year. Not what Josh Haldi wanted to do.
And again, Northern Illinois, a run-first, throw-second team, like play-action pass. Not really their style right here to throw this football down the field. And really, for a smart guy, a senior, very poor decision right here by Josh Haldi, the quarterback.
So Morris, the freshman, picks off the senior Haldi. 8:35 remaining, and the Toledo Rockets.
Kind of a mass exodus right now from this stadium, and these people think 0-10, 10 straight Toledo wins, 0-7 since Joe Novak, and they are exiting this stadium.
When the ball became dead, we got an unsportsmanlike conduct, number 9 on Toledo. That'll be half the distance to the goal. First down.
So the Rockets, with a celebration penalty, will kind of put their offense up against it, but they will have the football, much to the chagrin of Joe Novak. Joe has never known victory as a head coach against Toledo. He's 0-7, and he thought tonight would be different. He thought tonight would be special. Tonight is his 100th game as the head man for NIU. But unless something crazy happens, Tom Amstutz is going to walk away with the win, not Joe Novak.
Well, still a lot of time in this football game, and right now NIU's defense has to bow up and stop this running game and play-action game of Toledo.
Radkowski hands it off. Barreling through a couple of tackles is Scooter McDougal. Do not forget, immediately following this broadcast, NBA Nation coming your way. Matt Weiner doing the hosting. Highlights, live look-ins, news analysis. The NBA is rocking and rolling on ESPN2 immediately following our game. Second down and 6 now. Radkowski burns a little bit of time off the clock and then hands it off. It'll bring up a third down now.
And I'll tell you what, Toledo's punting problems have been well documented tonight. And this football game is not over, despite most of this crowd leaving. This is a key stop right now on third down, particularly because Toledo is going to be backed up, and NIU can get some great field position right here because of their punting problems. So a huge third down. He loves screens when he needs a play. That would probably be a good, safe call right here for Toledo.
4 receivers spread across the field. McDougal with the handoff has the first down. What a big play for the Toledo Rockets. They just execute perfectly.
Way to go, Washington. Why don't you figure out?
Third down, maybe thinking screen, but they're going to go ahead and run the little draw right here. And again, Scooter McDougal, a little inside move. Excellent block right there by number 64, David Perkins, the right guard, and a good call by Rob Spence.
Timeout on the field is McDougal, a little bit shaken up. You can excuse him for taking a little bit extra time getting up. He's had a lot of heavy lifting, 133 yards on the evening. With more on Mr. McDougal. Holly, what's going on?
Well, guys, as you said, he was creeping upwards of 258 pounds for a running back. They got him to lose 20 pounds before the season, and the coaches would like to say it was discipline, but we think it was more fear of not playing. But to his credit, he lost 20 pounds, and he's playing plenty tonight.
Jalen Parmalee replaces the slimmed-down McDougal. And Parmalee, who has 2 touchdowns, is brought down rudely by Brian Atkinson.
Excellent tackle that time by Brian Atkinson, 38. Again, he's playing with a fractured jaw and an injured foot. 2-time All-MAC Conference linebacker, has 12 tackles for loss on the season.
Coach, NIU had 10 days to get ready for today's game. Knowing that they haven't had much success in recent years against Toledo, would you have brought it up, the fact that they haven't won in 10 years?
I don't think you have to bring it up, because every media outlet that covers Northern Illinois would have brought it up. So bottom line, it is what it is.
Another catch for the tight end, Chris Holmes, his 9th. But not much yardage there. It's going to bring up another 3rd down and long.
But right now you have to give a lot of credit to this Toledo football team. As you mentioned, they played last Tuesday night, lost a heartbreaking game in Miami, Ohio, where they had 4 turnovers and actually had a chance to win and tie it at the end of that football game. To rebound and come back out here on Tuesday night, I mean, all indications that would be that Northern Illinois had a huge advantage, in my opinion, from a psychological standpoint, particularly when Northern Illinois jumps up to a 10-0 lead. But this football team, this is a good football team, Toledo.
Once again, a big play for the NIU defense. They need a stop. Little shovel pass, fighting for yards. Parmalee, he's brought down. Martin Wilson brings him down by his shirt collar. And that may have saved the day. It's going to bring up a 4th down and short. There's no possible way that Toledo goes for it now, huh, Coach?
No. That was a great play by Martin Wilson on that little shuffle pass. This is a great play here to pull Parmalee down and give Northern Illinois a chance here, Eric, in this football game with 5:16 left.
So Tom Amstutz has some time to think about it. It's 4th down and 1. NIU with just 1 timeout remaining.
As soon as I finish eating,
I'll tell you what, that looks like somebody trying to be Holly Rowe. Holly, what's up with that?
Holly has impersonators all around the country now.
Holly, it's unbelievable. There's someone with a white hat and a white scarf, but it's the exact same make and model as yours. You told me that was a one-of-a-kind, unique outfit you were wearing tonight.
Jason Robbins comes on, punts it away. Wind at his back, gets off a low liner. It's returnable. Dan Sheldon tries to spin out of a tackle. He does. Oh, my. He's got tremendous speed, but he can't get past the punter. Pretty good run for Dan Sheldon after a 48-yard line drive punt. He brings it back the other way, 31 yards, and I thought he was down a couple of different times.
I'll tell you what, for this senior, he wants to win this football game regardless of what the score is. And watch this effort right here. He stays alive. He spins out of there. I'll tell you what, there is still a pulse in this Northern Illinois offense, and Danny Sheldon provided that pulse right here. That was a heck of an effort right there.
Dan Sheldon, 4 lifetime punt returns for touchdown. Haldi to throw into coverage. Lucky to get that one back. Dangerous pass.
I'll tell you what, I think everybody on that Toledo defense anticipated that number 5 was going to get that football. And again, Josh Haldi really forced that ball in there.
Haldi just 4 for his last 11. Toss in that 11 passes, an interception. On the night, officially a 50% passer. With time. Swings it out to Adrian Davis, and Davis can't control the football. 3rd down and long.
Now Toledo, 3-man rush, 8 men, maximum guys dropping into coverage. Run after the catch is going to be very important because Toledo is not going to let that football in behind them with 3 deep zone players back there. You're going to have to throw the ball underneath and make some plays with your legs.
They need to get to the 40-yard line. Haldi won't get anywhere close. He's brought down. Sacked by Phil Alexander.
Phil Alexander, the 2nd sack of the night for him. Lou West told me he's been playing great the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season, and he is a returning starter. High expectations for him this year. Struggled early, but really playing well here late in the season.
Well, some desperation here now for NIU. They're going to have to go for it. They have just 1 timeout left. So on 4th and 20, they go for it, and Haldi, pressured, steps away, throws deep. No one home. Probably a good thing that thing wasn't intercepted. Jason Flowers was back there. If he'd intercepted it, it would have been Toledo ball at the 3. Instead, they get it on downs at the 42-yard line already in NIU territory, and that may be just about it for the Huskies and their hopes for the 2004 MAC West title.
And it looks like Toledo, still 4 minutes left in this game, and as an old coach, I hate to get too premature, but it looks like Toledo, next in their sights is Bowling Green after an open date, and they get Bowling Green at home this year.
Toledo, they need to win not only tonight's game, but next 2 Tuesdays from now, they need to beat Bowling Green State. That will wrap up the West Crown. Now, things are not totally lost for Northern Illinois with a loss tonight. We'll get back to Northern in a moment. Toledo, they're going to take on Bowling Green in 2 weeks' time, a game on ESPN2. Should they win that game, they would be the MAC West champion, and they would go to the MAC championship game, also found on the ESPN family of channels. It'll be on ESPN. That's back on December 2nd. But remember, if they lose that game against Bowling Green State, that means that Northern is back in the picture, and if they win their final conference game against Eastern Michigan, Northern Illinois will still be the MAC West champion. So Northern needs to win against Eastern Michigan, and they need to hope that Bowling Green can knock off Toledo in 2 weeks. So a lot of ifs for Joe Novak, a guy who knew that he controlled his own destiny going into tonight's game. That's no longer going to be the case.
And you sensed the confidence yesterday that Joe Novak and his staff had coming into this football game tonight.
No Garrett Wolfe. Is that a factor?
I don't really think so. You know, it's hard to tell. Garrett Wolfe is a difference maker that can take a 10-yard or an 8-yard run and take it all the way to the house. Bottom line, they are having trouble stopping Toledo. Toledo's offense has done an excellent job in play calling. They've been able to run the ball against the NIU defense. I don't know if it makes a difference or not. I would have liked to watch him play, just to have a chance to see a guy that had 280 yards in his last football game. We're talking about Garrett Wolfe, the talented tailback.
Is there such a thing as a distraction for a defense, Northern Illinois' defense, from an offensive guy not being around?
I think the distraction in this game was you have Kritkowski, and great quarterback, Lance Moore, a great wide receiver, but you still have to line up and stop the run. And with Scooter McDougal, the freshman Parmalee back there in the tailback position, Toledo has some weapons. So bottom line, I think NIU was focused to play. I just think Toledo's offense is really, really good. And you got to give some credit to Toledo's defense. They hung in there in this football game.
This is the final game at home for the Northern Illinois seniors. And this is a crew that has known nothing but winning. The winningest group of seniors in the history of this school. 31-13, including winners of their last 11 home games. Make it 31-14. Most likely 90 seconds away from their first conference loss here in 2004. On 3rd and 2, Gradkowski keeps it, gets another first down, and that'll do it. They will not have to give the football away. The story of this game, the running attack of Tom Amstutz. McDougal, 133 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. Parmalee, 2 touchdowns on the ground, and that must please Tom Amstutz, as his team is going to move to 6-1 in conference. Joe Novak, he's going to fall to 6-1, but of course, head-to-head, that's the first tiebreaker, and Northern no longer has that advantage over Toledo. Bruce Gradkowski, no touchdown passes, but he was a solid leader, and at the end of the evening, when you look at his numbers, they're pretty darn good. 297 yards of passing for Gradkowski. That good completion percentage, and he was able to run for first downs when he didn't pass for them.
And what you really like is just the way he manages the game and the way he leads this football team. This kid has some presence to him. Sitting there last night, you could see that I think he has some unique leadership ability.
Toledo's going to close with 24 unanswered points over the last 35 minutes. They pitched a shutout against Northern Illinois here in the second half. Second half numbers staggering. The Toledo Rockets, 297 yards of offense in the second half. Joe Novak's NIU Huskies, 19. 15 times as much offense in the second half for the Rockets than the Huskies.
That is an amazing statistic, and you go back the first series of the second half when NIU had Danny Sheldon wide open for a touchdown and the ball was underthrown. You never know what that would have done for this NIU football team, but now it doesn't matter. You got to give Toledo a lot of credit.
The Toledo Rockets have never defeated a ranked team on the road. That's going to change in 47 seconds.
And that 6-hour bus ride back to Toledo just got a whole lot easier, didn't it, for this football team?
The numbers bear out what we're talking about. 15 times the amount of total yards for Toledo. 15 times more than what Northern Illinois had. 297 to 19.
If you're Bowling Green, knowing you have Toledo coming up, the momentum and the confidence Toledo takes out of this win with an open date, Bowling Green's going to have their hands full with this football team.
Final play of this Tuesday evening here in DeKalb. Gradkowski. Hello. Going to put a period on this game.
All right.
Tom Amstutz and the Toledo Rockets improved to 6-1. They are now the only team that controls their own destiny in the race for the MAC West title. Tom Amstutz and his crew improved to 7-3 on the year. Toledo wins 31-17. Up next, NBA Nation. For post-game coverage, turn to ESPN News. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Bob Davie and Holly Rowe and our entire ESPN2 crew, I'm Eric Collins. Thank you for watching, everybody. Okay.
Be down, baby. Be down. That was a good game.
That was good.
Keeps you cool under the most extreme conditions.